Hey everyone, welcome to Logan's Mosh Pit. Glad to have you here. Do me a favor and please subscribe if you haven't already. George Orwell, author of the classic book 1984, once said, "The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history." I think he's absolutely right. Speaking of history, it's time to unpack a new episode of Music History. In each episode of Music History, I will describe some interesting events that have happened today, March 24th. To be honest, it would take me until tomorrow if I went over everything that occurred today, so I merely selected 10 major moments to focus on. I put them in chronological order. Let's begin. First, on this day in 1948, Lee Oskar, the highly touted harmonica player for the funk rock band War, was born. Thanks a lot, Lee, for giving us the George Lopez theme. I appreciate that more than anything. On this day in 1958, the King, Elvis Presley, surprisingly traded his blue suede shoes for a pair of combat boots when he enlisted in the United States Army. Elvis ended up serving 2 years total. On this day in 1964, Steve Zetro Souza, man, that's so fun to say, vocalist of the marvelous metal group Exodus, was born. Cheek out this story, folks. On this day in 1973 at a Lou Reed concert, somehow a weird fan shoved his way up to the stage and bit Lou's booty. Talk about a pain in the ass. Seems like security was a step behind. Oh well, the crowd probably cracked up afterward. On this day in 1975, Lynyrd Skynyrd learned that the third time's the charm when they released their third studio album titled Nothin' Fancy. Previous drummer Bob Burns was replaced by a man with a far less catchier name, Artemis Pyle. Ugh. The album baffled listeners with the wild weekend song Saturday Night Special. Nothin' Fancy went on to sell more than 1 million copies, making it an essential item for any serious Lynyrd Skynyrd collector to obtain. On this day in 1991, the Black Crowes were suddenly stripped of their opportunity to open for ZZ Top on tour. Why? Because the Black Crowes repeatedly roasted the tour sponsor, which was Miller Beer. To be fair though, Miller Beer does taste nasty. I would have done the same thing. On this day in 1998, Dracula's favorite band Typo Negative put out their very first fantastic home video in order to promote the song After Dark. On this day in 2001, the city of Macon, Georgia decided to dedicate Duane Allman Boulevard to that great man who lost his life due to a horrendous motorcycle accident 30 years before. On this day in 2002, proving that the world of movies and music can coexist peacefully, composer Randy Newman finally took home an Oscar following 15 failed nominations. See, patience pays off. Newman wrote If I Didn't Have You, a delightful duet between the scare pair Mike and Sully from the movie Monsters, Inc. Last but not least, on this day in 2008, Britney Spears showed up as a guest star on an episode of How I Met Your Mother. She played the role of Abby, a receptionist who becomes infatuated with main character Ted. Spears actually returned in another episode and said, "Oops, I did it again." Well, that's it. What's your favorite thing that took place today? Let me know in the comments. That does it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Till then, rock on.